Hey everybody, Travis here. First tournament recap of 2019 down at Stockton Lake. It was just a really tough weekend for me. Really trying weekend, so we're going to go through what happened. So I was down there for 4 days. Got down there on Thursday. So fished Thursday, Friday in practice, and then Saturday, Sunday was a tournament. It's a 2-day tournament. It counted as one tournament though. So the first day, I get down there and I'd ran my boat twice for maybe about an hour, just because we didn't have a very warm spring this year. So I got down there, started fishing, fished for probably 5 hours, caught one keeper on a A-rig, and we'll go over more of that in a second. Caught one keeper on an A-rig in practice, and then I could just tell that my trolling motor batteries weren't 100%. So, I was on 100 going against the wind and basically going backwards. So I took a minute, sat down in the boat, and just started researching where the closest place was. Stockton Lake doesn't have a whole lot of town by it. So found the closest Walmart, basically turned it in early. Got off the water like 2 o'clock, went and checked in, pulled the batteries out, drove 45 minutes, got a new battery, put the new batteries in, and then just called it a day for Thursday. Only had one bite in about 4 or 5 hours of fishing. So then comes practice day number 2. I did catch a keeper on a jerkbait. It's just an RC stick. So what it was is there's a little inside point, or like a little inside bend on this corner point, kind of little pocket like on a bend with a real deep channel by it, and I caught a keeper spotted bass on a jerkbait. Nothing too special. Wasn't really able to replicate it or anything. And then I decided to go up into some cleaner water, start fishing around, and I'm on the phone with my buddy, and just talking about, he's further up the lake, kind of talking about what he's doing, and I kind of get blown on the bank, go step on the trolling motor and snap, break the trolling motor cable, steering cable. So I had to go load the boat up again after only 4 or 5 hours of fishing, only the one bite, and had to go figure out where I could find a trolling motor battery, which was the closest place to Springfield, was an hour each way. So went an hour each way, got my new cable, got back to the hotel, got the cable installed. Luckily it was the right one. Got it installed, got it working, and then we went out to eat. So I didn't really even get a chance to do tackle. But at this point, in 2 days of practice, I had 2 bites, and it was just really bad practice. And I was hoping that I was done, with all the problems, but I wasn't. So get to the tournament day, and I start, in an area where I caught a keeper in practice, nothing. Went to the second area, I caught a keeper in practice, nothing. And then I just was like, well, I'm just going to kind of run around and try to fish what looks good. So run up to an area, catch my first short fish of the day on a rock crawler. You guys seen this bait before if you watched any of my other videos. Rock crawler, phantom green with the orange butt. It was 14.5 short. Threw it back, kept fishing down there, never had any other bites. Drove way up the lake to where I had some success last year, and was throwing a jerkbait. I believe it was this one, RC sticks, in some real clean water, and had a bite. Felt like a good one, and then he just came off. So I don't really know what happened with that one. Felt like he was on there for a second, and then he just was gone. So the day hadn't gone very well at all. So then I run back to the area I'm originally fishing. Don't get any bites. Fish around by the ramp. It's like 250, and I'm fishing around the ramp, and I get a bite, set the hook, reel it in on a drop shot, and when I boat flipped it was like a 12-inch largemouth. Boat flipped it in, rod snaps in half. Brand new rod, just got it. A couple months ago. It was really the first time I really used it. Was that weekend, and just broke right in half. So ended up not catching any keepers. Loaded the boat up. 16 pounds was leading it. Everybody but me and one other guy caught a keeper. So it was a really frustrating day. So now we'll move forward to day 2. So day 2 comes, and I go to back down. They back me down, and then I forgot to undo a strap. Basically what it came down to. And so the boat catches on the strap, and I rig it on the trailer. I pull me up to undo strap. I broke the strap. This physical strap is broken. The plastic facing bent it, messed the strap up. So now I'm at 4 straight days of breaking something or something breaking on me, and just immediately started my day in frustration. The only good part was I did get a partner on the second day named Tim. He was actually leading the tournament. We went back to the area that he was kind of fishing around, and we were actually able to dial in a really solid pattern, and that's what we're going to go through now. So on day 2, like I said, we went through after the broke trap. I did catch one keeper before I had the video on an Alabama rig. And then, so here's the Alabama rig that I was using. We'll kind of go over it, what's left of it. I went through basically all my swim baits this day. So using Yum Flash Mob Jr. I'm doing an owner centering pin system, owner CPS there, so there's no hook, there's no weight. I cut off all that, so it's just directly attached to the wire on both the dummy baits. Using 2 1/8 ounce heads. These are just from the local tackle shop. And then in the middle bait, I was using, I believe, another 1/8 ounce heads and a Strike King Squadron head. All of these are, well, these 3 are Kitex, and then this is a Strike King, and then this is a Bass Pro Shops Speed Shad. But originally, when I was using this, and most of the time I caught my fish, I had 5 Kitex on there, and I had the 3-inch swim impacts for, or the 3-inch swim impacts on the 4 on the outside, and then a 4-inch in the middle that was the same color white, and then, like I said, dip the tail in chartreuse, get my target. So that's what almost all my fish catches came on. So we're kind of going to go through the fish catches here with a video, a little different than how I normally do it. So the first fish catch was on a little inside of a point. Like I said, I don't have that one on video. So the first keeper came on an inside part of a pocket. We were fishing Main Lake. It was like kind of up the river, but it was a channel side. Went on the inside, we fished down a bunch of bank. Then we got into, we kind of idled up into another pocket that had some trees, and I think caught like 3 white bass in a row. They were all just hammering that A rig. They were kind of a little pot of them. Just throw up there and just slow reeling it. It was a little shallow spot and some trees, and it was just bam, bam, bam. Those are really fun to catch. So at least my spirits are up at that point. I had one keeper in the boat, was catching some fish, clearly could get bites on the A rig. So it was just a matter of figuring out how to get those largemouth to bite and try to put them in the boat. So a little bit around the bend from where we caught the spotted bass, or the white bass, there was these 2 stick-ups, and I actually called out to my co-angler. I was like, man, there should be a fish on those 2 stick-ups, because it was kind of the pattern that we were working. It was on the inside of the bend, right on the channel swing, threw up there, and caught a fish, caught the second keeper. Was really excited about being able to get that, and really just kind of getting dialed in. So then we fished up a little bit of a bluff again, and I was like, man, all of our bites are on the inside, so let's just run up and start fishing the inside. So we run up, fish the inside of some points. He caught his first keeper at that point, went back a little bit further in the pocket, and I caught another fish that was actually short. And so what was interesting about this fish was it looked like he had already spawned out, but the water temp was only 50 degrees. And I showed the camera, you can see it here, that it looked like he was spawned out, but I don't really understand what that fish was doing. But that one was a short, so threw him back and kind of went around, fished the rest of that pocket. And then we got on the opposite side, and then fished out that bank, and then I actually got stuck, spun the boat around, or got hung, spun the boat, unhooked, and then kind of went back down that little pocket again and caught my 3rd keeper at that point. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that spot in a second. So at this point we were really pretty dialed in. We ran up to the next pocket, started fishing it, caught another white bass, ran further back in, and actually caught a short fish on a rock crawler. This one was a little different rock crawler. It was a spring crawl, I think. The chartreuse one. The water up there is a lot dirtier than earlier when I caught it on the other bait. So after I caught that second short fish on the rock crawler, we kind of made our way back into a larger pocket and kind of spent too much time back there, just wasted a little time getting back there. We should have stayed on the mouth. Fished our way out of that and then jumped up to the next pocket, where the craziest thing happened, and you'll be able to point it out here. So I was fishing A rig, and we were kind of in some cypress trees areas, and it was a really shallow point. This is where the channel kind of swung to the other side, but still kind of fit our pattern, so we went and fish it anyway. Throw up my A-rig next to this kind of cedar tree or cypress tree. I think I've seen a cedar tree, and was reeling it back in, just kind of talking to Tim, and all of a sudden we just hear splash. It looked like about a 3-pound fish actually comes out of the water, and went over the top of my A-rig. So I don't know if he tried to hit it and missed, or decided not to hit it or what, but completely missed it. So that was just the craziest thing that happened that weekend. The fish just jumped right over the top of it. Looking at it, looked like a pretty good fish. After we fished that area, we made the decision to run all the way back to where we started and then just hit those inside corners, each one of those pockets. So at that point, we were pretty dialed in on the pattern. Went through to the back, caught my 4th keeper. It was the same thing on the inside, a little bend on a channel swing. This one had some wind on it, kind of. I had a couple bites and missed it, and then I actually had to change up the swim bait, and caught that fish. So that was my 4th keeper. So that was the last keeper I got on video. The video died shortly after that. But then the coolest thing happened, of course, after the video died. We went back to a spot that I talked about earlier, where I caught my 3rd keeper. And actually, I got snagged on a tree, I said earlier, and I was snagged on that tree. And so we went back to that pocket, fished the right side, nothing, fished back to the left side, and my partner caught a keeper. It was his 3rd. And then he caught his 4th, and then he caught his 5th, pretty much all right away. And then I caught my 5th, or I think I caught my 5th after he caught his 4th. Then he caught his 5th, and then I caught my 6th. And then we caught it short, all within like a 10-minute span. It was like bam, 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 bam. And it was kind of on that spot where you can see the tree I was hung on. I think it was right off that tree. There's a little ledge there. Fish are just hanging out there, and it was just one of those times where it was every cast for about 10 minutes, and they were all keepers, so it was a lot of fun. So, ended up breaking something every day, but ended up catching 10.5 pounds on Sunday to come in 11th, and then actually my co-angler Tim was able to put in 11.5 pounds in the back of the boat, plus the 16 he had on the first day. He ended up winning. It was his first ever win. Big congratulations, shout out to Tim for catching those fish and winning that tournament. It's awesome, and congratulations. So that kind of wraps up the lures and selection. So next up for me is actually not till May in Smithville. I have to miss the next Smithville Bassmasters, is actually next weekend from where we are now. So I'll be missing that at Palm, but the next one's will be in May at Smithville. Should be good. They should be shallow. Should be able to catch them cranking or flipping, maybe even top water, kind of depending on how the April month goes. So be on the lookout for probably some fun fishing videos between now and then, and continue to watch the What's in My Box series. That I'm going to keep putting those out every week. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like, comment. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll let you know. So thanks for tuning in.